Sometimes you see heavily underrated movies that by and large do not deserve the rating that they are getting. Such a heavily underrated movie is Teen Soldier that might just be the most underrated movie in 2025. It's hard to understand why people think it is that bad because there's no doubt in my mind that there are so many worse movies than this one. If we talk plot-wise, first it is about this program for soldiers with PTSD, of course just coincidentally called the program. This program is led by the charismatic and dangerous cult leader called the Bakushi, played by Jamie Foxx, and it is probably the best character in the movie. People may of course say that Samuel L. Jackson could have done his role better, but I actually feel it is one of the best roles that Jamie Foxx has done alongside his performance as a Ray. That the movie is done mostly with flashbacks to gather information about his cult is a move that might not have worked in other movies, but I feel it works here because unlike in other movies where you go back to the flashbacks all the time or to the flashbacks in the middle of the movie, the flashbacks themselves fills you in on a lot of the details and you see decent character building with the main character and how the Bakushi really believed in him to be a good soldier for the program. This dangerous cult is also made as a sort of a dark revenge play against the government to punish them for being discarded as soldiers. That's why also the main character gets the assignment to put a stop to them forever, while he at the same time tries to find his wife that also was in the program called Emily. If we go back to the role that Jamie Foxx does here, I feel it shows true conviction. I feel he manages to be crazy, manipulative, like a true face of evil, and there's nothing charismatic about it. That's why it is highly entertaining to see him in this role, and one of the big reasons why this movie is underrated. Another thing to talk about, it's a role done by Robert De Niro, because although he does not have that much of a screen time, he does the most of it. The way he first gives the main character the mission, tries to trick him into doing it by not telling the full story, and he is this typical shady government official that will not tell you the truth unless you beat it out of him, like Scott Eastwood does in the lead role. The way he acts in the role with the few lines that he gets is very convincing. With this let's cut off the head of the snake terminology is very convincing from the legendary actor. Furthermore, the action scenes towards the end are also quite entertaining. Of course, some of it could be more intense, but the fight between the Bakushi and the main character, and some of the shootouts with these loyal followers and the team from the FBI going in guns blazing, gives you a high dose of entertainment. Then you might say that for people that like action movies and are not too concerned about the plot, this might be the perfect film for those action movie lovers, because it feels quite old school, perhaps except for a little too much use of voiceover, but it is not too excessive, so that it ruins the entertainment because you see a lot of action as well. Some people might find the movie confusing, some people might find it too simple, but the reality and why I feel this movie is underrated is more because of that pure simplicity. When a movie is not that complex, it is about this dangerous military cult called the program that the main character tries to take down, that also is a part of his past because he came into the place as an undercover operative. So for me, in that case, it is not too hard to understand because it is the classic story of this action hero trying to stop the bad guy. It is that simple, but a lot of people that watch these movies nowadays, now they are simply allergic to the simple man of an action movie. But actually, believe this is a refreshing take back to the old stuff, and although this has a 3.3 out of 10 on IMDb, it has to be a 7 out of 10 for me, and that just shows how underrated it really is.